Hey everyone, it's Benny. Today I decided to do a sort of a different video. I wanted to talk about something that just really weirds me out in GTA. It's the physics engine for VTOL aircraft. So, for anyone who doesn't know, VTOL aircraft have a really weird physics engine. So, I'm going to demonstrate with this video. You can see I'm using the Hydra for this example, and I'm taking off just like a normal jet for this one. And it's pretty normal. I take off at a pretty normal speed for what this game is. Now for the second example, I stayed in VTOL mode. This entire one is in VTOL mode. And you'll notice that as I propel the jet downward, it sort of pulls it onto the tarmac. Like, I'll explain that later. And you can see here, I'm pulling back on the stick and this thing just launches down the runway. I'm going at speeds that shouldn't even be possible in this game. There's like a really weird speed glitch. I'll explain how to do that a moment later, like later in the video. Now, to sort of demonstrate the broken physics engine, I went to the top of the Maze Bank Tower, and I took off like I normally would, except this happens. It's really weird. As I said before, it's like, okay, let me try to explain this in a way I can understand. So, like with helicopters, when you go like any direction, up or down, you're still being influenced by gravity, regardless of which way you're moving the helicopter. But with this thing, or with any VTOL aircraft for that matter, whether it's a Tula or the Avenger, like, it's like gravity doesn't matter. Like, you could actually sit still on something like a Hydra, and you would not go downwards until you press left on the trigger. Or you press the left trigger, I mean. It's a really weird physics engine choice, and I don't understand where this came from. Maybe you guys could explain in the comments. Maybe it's some sort of a realism thing. And you can see here, I'm having to use this, like, I'm having to try to remember this whenever I circle a target. This is actually why you'll never see me go in VTOL whenever I'm fighting with the Hydra. It's just because it's so hard to get used to, and I'm still trying to get used to that physics engine. So, what I'm going to do now is thoroughly explain in the best way I can think of. And I'm going to slow the clips down and explain as I go. So, this is completely in VTOL, and again, if you notice, when I press left trigger, it just sort of presses itself against the ground. And then when you release the trigger, it sort of like goes back. It's like it's just being pulled down by the thrusters. And this makes it so that when I pull back on the stick, the jet tilts up, and it's like pulling it slightly forward. And as it goes down the runway, that forward motion just turns into it turns the thing into a projectile. And again, this is at speeds that it should not be traveling at. Now let's talk about when I was taking off. So you can see I went left, and then when I tried to go down, it pulled it back. And again, it's for some reason whenever you use the thrusters, it forces it vertical. It's as if it's not being influenced by gravity. And just to prove it, I decided to do the same thing again, except this time when I went down, I tilted the thing right, and as you can see, a thruster pulled it down again. It's like whenever you pull it down, it's not gravity doing the work, like, you know, with a helicopter. You know, with a helicopter, you would let gravity do the work, and then gravity, like, pulls it downward. In this case, it's as if it's automatically sitting still, and then the thrusters are, like, pulling it downward. It's really weird physics engine, and it actually leads to a really funny speed glitch in the air. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so as far as I know, it doesn't seem like a lot of people know about this. A few know it here and there, but what you do is you have to get up to a decent altitude. Maze Bank height is generally a good reference. And you start doing this. You go forward and back, and you alternate between left and right trigger. You push the stick forward and press right trigger, pull the stick back and press left trigger. And what this does is it makes you just, again, it turns your jet into a freaking projectile. and it just goes at speeds it's not supposed to. And it goes into what I was saying earlier, where like when you press the left trigger, it doesn't make the jet descend from gravity, it literally pulls it down. And you can use this to actually gain forward momentum. And it's just so broken. And it's something I've never understood about the Hydra, is that it just, like, realistically speaking, it probably makes sense. I mean, I'm guessing it's something to do with, like, how it would handle IRL, but, like, for gameplay's sake, it makes it really confusing. But anyway, that's all I have for this video, and I wanted to try to share my thoughts on this. Has anyone out there actually, like, mastered the flight on the Hydra? Like, you know, when they go in VTOL mode, like, if anyone out there actually has, like, full control of VTOL mode, let me know, and in fact, even share some techniques you might have in the comments. That's it for now. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more regular content. That's it for now. I'm out. Stay safe, guys.